road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaoh? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not foolish, and our honored dead who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay, there is a point beyond which they must not have dared. You and I have a rendezvous with death.
All right, welcome back. Patriot Act Freedom Radio.
Oh, go ahead,
Can
Carl, go ahead.
Can I share something with you? Because when you, Rickard, when you talked about there's the magic when you come, like we were comparing, we work in different ways with Melek and with the whole
very
band,
different ways.
Yeah, but you says nothing beats the magic when everyone is together and something happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got this memory from back in the old days, before Songs of Solomon. We had a rehearsal. Yeah, we had a rehearsal room in the parish. Because Jonas' father is a priest, a minister, and so in his house in the basement we had a very small rehearsal room with black walls before the egg cartons. Yeah, well, and
we had a tree down there as well.
Yeah, we had a tree and an altar. So we had approximately 400 or 500 pounds of stone in an altar, right? And Jonas' grandfather was some kind of a glass
artist.
So he had crunched glass in yellow and red and orange and stuff like that put in the altar like a glowing. So you like a glowing furnace, right?
Yeah,
furnace, because there was a lamp under this glass parts in the middle. So it was a very atmospheric little rehearsal room, and with a dead tree and everything. So totally Scandinavian. And we were playing down there, and we were about to pack up and go home, and everyone was like putting down their instruments and everything. And then Matthias,
I remember my father has already parked his car outside to come and get me.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so but when we're walking out, Matthias is still with his guitar, and he goes like, "Wait," and then he just starts playing melody. And he goes on, and everyone goes back in, put their instruments on, and he's like. And we're just playing that for minutes.
That was how Separated by Night was born.
Because that wasn't written, that was born.
It was born. Correct.
Some parts were written later to put it together as a song, but the main theme that was born.
That was just put down on us from heaven above.
You know, and then
Those
he
are
just
the best.
starts. That was
Those are the best
magical.
That was
because
magic.
you know that if it feels good to you guys playing it right then and there, that other people
Yeah.
are going to enjoy it too. Like there's something for a musician that somebody who's not a musician might not understand it, but when you know, you just something clicks in your mind and you're like,
Yeah,
that's it right there. And then you just keep going with it. It's like, you know, the baby's head's popping out and you're okay, time to give birth. Let's
Yeah.
go. You know,
I'm ready
But-
to deliver.
yeah. So I got the funniest story I got about the shows that we've had with Symphony of Heaven. It was the last show before the shutdown of everything back in 2020. We were opening for the Shadow of Intent tour that was coming through in Louisville, Kentucky. So we get there, biggest show of my career. Anyway, you know, playing at a place that can hold 300, 400, 500 people. It's packed, it's full, lines out the door. We sold all our tickets, you know, and we're ready to go. Like this is a big tour, big band. It still isn't right now.
Cool.
And so we get there, we're ready to go. And then Eero, our guitar player, who's Renaissance and Angel of Sodom fame, he gets there, and you gotta keep in mind they had just had their son a couple of months earlier, so he's a new dad. You know, he gets there, and all of a sudden, I don't have my guitar. I forgot my guitar. What do you mean you forgot your guitar? That's the only thing you had to bring.
We've been there.
Where is my guitar?
Yeah.
We have one too.
So it was that we were scrambling at that point. Thankfully, I always bring backups of everything. And so he had to use my little 6-string Jackson V that cost like $100 and had to tune it and retune it to like a 7-string. And we got through it. But then we get on stage and everybody who's working there, all the engineers and the sound guys, they're all high as a kite. Nobody's listening to me. We're getting on stage. We're ready to go. You know, they give us this much room at the front because they're backlined everything else. I'm looking around and like everybody's working and hooking stuff up. I just need to plug in my amp. And it's like 5 minutes to go before the show. Can I please plug in my guitar amp? Anybody? Nobody's listening to me at all. Then we go to test the track on the computer. It don't work. To this day, I'm not sure what happened. And so we had to play with no track. Then we're testing out Eero's amp. And he's got sound from his amp, but where they're micing it, nothing's coming through the monitor. He's like, I can't hear myself. I cannot hear myself. It's like, we got to go right now. I'm like, looking at Eero, looking at the stage manager. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, this is a disaster at this point. And so we went and he couldn't hear himself the whole time. He got super frustrated. You can see that in the video. And I should have just told the guy, no, we're not, we need to fix this. I think come to find out the speaker might've been bad where they had the microphone, but it was, everything was going to go great. And then everything crashed at the last minute.
Yeah.
At our biggest stage at that. So definitely a memory. We joke and laugh about it now,
Yeah,
but it wasn't so funny at the time.
One of those things that are better in memory than in life, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
You
think every band has like an ethos or like a mythology of the band, and some things get into there. Like when this birth of Separated, for example, our version of
the lost
Where Is
guitar.
My Guitar is like we are going up. One of the few times we actually played in Sweden, we're going up north, and it's 1,000 kilometers approximately from home.
100, yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
100 mil ungefär, va?
Ah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's say 1,000 kilometers. And one of the guys, he's like, he can't find his phone. So he's like,
Wallet. It was his wallet.
oh, it was, sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. Where's my wallet? I got it, and he was looking for his wallet. And can we stop the car and look if it's in the hutch or in the back or and then so he goes there to look for it, and he says, "Where is my guitar?" And we're almost there, So we had to borrow. Did we even have a backup, or did we borrow from some band?
We had the fortunate, Crimson Moonlight was playing at the same festival as us. So Matthias he borrowed Per's guitar, and this was before I joined Prison Moonlight, many years before. But we knew the guys very well since we have been playing together
So that's
for
like
like
5
forever.
guys playing metal in, in
Yeah.
Christianity in Sweden.
So I remember he borrowed Per's guitar, but worrying about his wallet like for 800 kilometers just to find out, well, where's my guitar? So he still hears that one today. Like it's
Yeah,
15
you never
years
live
ago or
that down.
Oh yeah. Well, I got one last thing, and I think we'll have to wrap it up. But somebody mentioned, I think Hero asked me the other day about you guys talking about one of the few times you played in Sweden. And he mentioned to me that it doesn't seem like Pantocrator plays in Sweden very much, or that a lot of Swedish bands don't play in Sweden. And I didn't know that that was a thing. And you guys are shaking your head. So why is that? Why do Swedish bands not play Sweden very much?
You had the word. Go on.
Okay, so I think that like the audience in Sweden are the bands. It's like more bands than audience. If you go to a metal concert, it's a lot of bands listening to one band.
Especially in the Christian metal scene.
Yeah, and some of them are in 3 bands. It's
yeah.
So if you there's a book that Pilgrim has about Swedish black metal, and it's this thick, and it's just like a phone book from back in those days when there were phone books. It's just names. It's like hardly any pictures in the book. It's just like so many bands, and if you start to cross-reference, you're like, oh, he's playing the drums in that band, and the bass in that band, and the bass and the guitar here, and he's doing the vocals there. And that's the sad truth of Sweden is we have such a great metal export, but we don't have an audience that's not in exporting.
I think Carl is onto something here, and I think the bands that are reaching outside of Sweden, they don't play Sweden that very much. Like bands like In Flames and Sabaton and bigger bands that Swedish death metal and metal has exported.
Yeah, I saw Arch Enemy in Sweden once, and it was like, from what you heard from them from stage, it was like a freak accident or something that they played in Sweden, and it was in the Amat brothers' hometown. So
Well, I think it's really interesting what you guys are saying, because I understand that, because most shows that we play here, and this has always been this way, most shows that we play, the audience is the other bands, and I think over here it's because there's not a very big metal scene at all. Like there's not even that many bands, therefore there's not even that many fans. And when you have a show, I think we played a show over the summer down town in Evansville, south of us. I think 3 or 4 people that weren't part of the bands showed up, and that's normal. Like we just expected. We had a great time. We played with Brutality, and they're awesome. And but it's like, man, I can't imagine what it would be like if there was like people that showed up that like weren't in a band. I think the last show we played last weekend, there was a decent amount of people that were fans that were part of the scene that wanted to come out and watch. But there was still a large majority of the people there were the other bands. So therefore the guys in the bands don't pay to get in, because you're in the band. Yeah. So you got an audience, but you're not going to make any door money. You don't ever expect that,
So if you look at the other side of the arc here, you have Japan, I think, because then there you have the fans, but they have no bands.
Yeah.
They are the import nation of metal, but they don't export. I saw some Japanese death metal band a long time ago where they were a video, and it was like weird. It was growls and keyboards and drums, and they were jumping through root systems with like samurai helmets, and I was, that's the reason,
Yeah.
They don't really know how to do this.
They look like Mega Man in
They're
their
still learning.
videos. Yeah,
they're still learning.
They have a classic metal scene, like neoclassical metal. They
Yeah.
just adore it. And there are some bands that have a really, that actually have reached outside of Japan. Just because of that, I just can't remember the name. Becka, vad heter de japanerna? Ex-Japan. Check them out. Ex-Japan.
Ex-Japan. Huh.
It sounds like, it's like a mixture of Slayer and really cool thrash metal.
Okay.
Yeah. But
They
it's
look
they got their own style, so it's you can really hear that they are from Japan.
Yeah. Do they look like they're kind of almost glam metal?
Yeah.
Okay, I got them here. Yeah.
Really big hairdos and
Yes.
yeah, they're from the 80s.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's not
Cool.
a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's not.
Well,
Guys, this could go on forever, I think.
I know.
We should just have
yeah.
have a lifetime show here.
I know talk forever, but we've had a lot of good conversation about music and memories in the bands and stuff like that. So, yeah, thanks everybody for listening. And if anybody watches this and listens, if there's anybody you would like us to talk to, put them in the comments, and that way we'll be able to maybe reach out and maybe set something up, because we do have a lot of fun with this. And so until next time, this is Pathos from Symphony of Heaven, and the other two guys are
Carl from Pantokrator and Melek.
And Rick from Pantocrator, Melik, Crimson Moonlight, and Joachim.
Yeah, that's right. See, the whole thing about everybody in multiple bands is true. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but until next time, everybody, we love you. God bless you guys.
God bless.
Take care and stay metal. So see you guys.
Makes me lie down in the green pasture.
And therein lies the road
Greases
to
up my
war.
head with oil.
Because those
Gives me
voices
kung
don't
fu
speak
at the
for the
base of
rest
my
of us.
head.
You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery.
Amen.
For should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaoh, but Christ have reduced the cross? Should the patriots that conquered Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools, and our honored dead who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? The simple answer